And happy birthday, Setsuna Wolf! Happy birthday, RockCandyWolf!
Yay! What day is
And
it?
if you happen to share your birthday today, May 20th, right that time, then you happen to share your birthday with the following people. Singer and actor Naturi Naughton, 1/3 of the R&B group 3LW. She played Little Kim in the movie Notorious.
Notorious.
And one of the stars of Stars is crime drama Power as Tasha St. Patrick. She turns 39.
Young.
Sierra Bogus, or Bodges, not exactly sure how to pronounce her name.
Let's go with Bodges.
She played the lead roles in The Little Mermaid, The Phantom of the Opera, and Love Never Dies on Broadway. She turns 41.
Young.
Bassist Ryan Martini of the heavy metal band Mudvayne. He turns 48.
I haven't listened to Mudvayne in a while.
Oh, really? You've heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
They used to paint their faces, and now they don't.
Oh.
I mean, well, they stopped years ago.
Okay. Next, Tony Stewart, former NASCAR driver who drove the Home Depot car, number 20. He turns 52. Trevor George Smith Jr., but better known as Busta Rhymes, notoriously seen in Halloween Resurrection, and played Flo Nominal in the Boondocks, and, had quite the music career as well. Do you ever know any Busta Rhymes songs?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Sorry.
It's okay. He turns 51. Timothy Oliphant, who played...
I know Timothy Oliphant. He was, well, I'll let you read the things and then I'll add
Okay.
to it.
So Timothy Oliphant, who played Sheriff Seth Bullock in Deadwood, Raylan Givens in Justified, Dick Duffy Wickware in FX's Fargo, Sheriff Flanders in The Simpsons special two-parter A Serious Flanders, and Cobb Vanth in The Mandalorian. Is that the one you were going to say?
No. No, actually, the two that I'm thinking of aren't even on there.
Okay.
Yes. In The Mandalorian, he was his character. He actually had Boba Fett's armor on.
Oh wow.
Spoiler alert! Shows the season's a couple years old. If you haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I mean.
But anyway, yes, he was also. I do not remember the character's name, but he was the husband guy. In the Santa Clarita Diet, he was. His wife was played by.
He was the husband in Santa Clarita.
By the one from E.T. Why can't I think of her name?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's okay. And then
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. Oh, thank goodness. and he was also in the first adaptation of the Hitman
movie.
Yeah,
he was Agent 47 in the
Yes.
poorly received Hitman movie. I almost included that, but I was like, no.
I watched it. It is just basically, it feels like a collection of cutscenes from the game.
Really? You
with
think so?
no substance.
Oh, okay. So
it was
like too much like the game is what you're saying.
I feel like it was too much. But Timothy Oliphant is amazing.
I saw both movies. I definitely think they did a better job with the second one. But Hitman was definitely not very good. Definitely not up to par with today's video game adaptation movies.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant, he turns 55. Actor Mindy Cohen plays Natalie Green on The Facts of Life, and the voice of Velma from 2002 to 2015.
You take the bad, you take them on, there you have The Facts of Life.
She was Velma in What's New Scooby-Doo, Mystery Incorporated, and close to 20 movies and 10 video games.
Wow.
So she did a lot of work as Velma. She turns 57. Nick Hayward, singer and guitarist of Haircut 100, he turns 62. John Billingsley, best known as Dr. Phlox in the Star Trek Enterprise, and coroner Mike Spencer on True Blood, he turns 63. Tony Goldwyn, voice of Disney's Tarzan, as well as Andrew Pryor in the Divergent movies, and he played the CEO of Replacement Technologies, Michael Drucker, in The Sixth Day, and he was Sam's co-worker and friend Carl Brunner in The Ghost, with what is it, Patrick Swayze? Is that
Oh
Ghost?
yes. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, he turns 63.
Yeah, I like the Sixth Day as well. I mean, it's not a great movie.
Yeah, it's not the best.
I get why it wasn't as well received, but oh my goodness, I didn't like some of it. I liked it enough, but yes, it's a bad movie. I'm sorry, Arnold. I love Arnold.
Yeah, but yeah, he turns 63. Bronson Pinchot, best known as Balki Bartokamus on Perfect Strangers, and Mr. Toomey in The Langoliers.
Really, no mention of Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, I did see that in there. I didn't know how noteworthy he was for that. So okay, so he was who in Beverly Hills Cop?
I don't remember his name, but he was another fake foreigner in that one too.
Okay. So he turned 64.
I do have a family friend that has worked with him.
Really?
Yeah, he's a producer. I don't remember if he worked with him or if he just got to meet him. I think he just got to meet him because he's, was on set. And he described him as a very demanding actor.
Mm-hmm.
He won't say anything negative about people, but that's how he's like, he was very demanding.
Okay. I mean, kind of like his character, Mr. Toomey, then, in Langoliers. Very...
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's the impression I get, is that that's actually him.
So anyhow, next we have Jane Weidlin, Weidlin, Weidlin. What do we think that is?
Sure, one of those.
Co-founder and guitarist of the Goo Goo the Go-Go's,
Wow.
Go-Go's, and drummer and backup vocalist for the Hex Girls. She turned 65. Next, this one's gonna be a toughie, but Israel Ano I Kamakawiwo Ole, also called Brada Ease, or simply Ease, was a Hawaiian musician known for his medley of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World. He was 38 when he died, and he would be 64 if he were alive today.
I gotta tell you, I'm so out of touch. Was not aware that he had passed away.
If you're unaware, he was an extremely large Hawaiian man.
Yes, and his music was incredibly beautiful. Incredibly beautiful. It also doesn't help me that at one of my friend's funerals, they played Somewhere Over the Rainbow over and over again.
Really?
So it got hammered into his version, as a funeral song. No, just another version.
Oh, okay.
But any version of it triggers that response from me.
Next, typically when I do these lists, the people who are no longer with us are all at the end. But yeah, he died so young. There's still a few people left who are still alive. We've got next Dean Butler, best known as Almanzo Wilder in Little House on the Prairie. He turned 67.
Used to watch that show. No, I don't remember a thing about it. Except that Michael Landon was in it.
Yes. Warren Kahn, a Canadian drummer and songwriter, and founding member of the new wave band Ultravox. He is 72 today. Dave Thomas, not that Dave Thomas, who played...
He's not the one from SCTV?
Oh, it is that Dave Thomas.
Yay!
I think most people hear Dave Thomas and think the Wendy's.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave Thomas played the Moose Took in Brother Bear, and better known as Doug McKenzie on SCTV, and Russell Norton on Grace Under Fire. He turned 74.
Oh, and he's also the priest in Santa's Sleigh.
Was he really?
Yes, he was the preacher. I said priest, I believe. He's
okay.
Preacher and a corrupt preacher.
I'm surprised I didn't catch that then. I might have put that on there. Anyway, Cher, woman who's so well known, she only needs the one name, and you know who she is, Cher.
Yeah.
She turned 77. Anything you feel about saying about Cher?
She has a trans son.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's right. Chaz Bono?
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about it, but it's like once you put it in my head, it was like, oh yeah.
In my head.
Okay, that's not a Cher song.
I know it's not.
Next, so now we're on to the people who are no longer with us. William Hewlett, co-founder of Hewlett-Packard. He was 87 when he passed, and if he were alive today, he'd be 110.
Wow.
Jimmy Stewart, best known for It's a Wonderful Life, Rear Window, Vertigo, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and so many more. He was 89 when he passed, and if he were alive today, he'd be 115.
Yeah, almost made it.
And William Fargo, founder of Wells Fargo. He was 63 when he passed. If he were alive today, he'd be 205.
And fun fact, he's the basis of the movie Fargo.
No.
Oh.
So, that does it for people who are born on this day. Now on to things that happen on this day in history. So, if you were born today, these things all happened on this exact date in history. And 1310, shoes were made for both right and left feet.
Yes, this is something I actually forgotten about that they told us on school field trips, is that, yes, shoes were originally, because, you got this historic website, or website, oh my gosh, my brain is fried. You go to a historic location and they would show you old things, like old barber's chairs and things.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, shoes were designed to go on either foot.
Like socks.
Yeah, just like socks.
So yeah,
well, like a lot of socks. There are socks nowadays that are left and right, but
it's kind of wild to think. I don't know how long shoes have existed, but you got to imagine they've been around.
For at least 20 years.
You got to feel that they have existed in some form or another since before the AD times, right? They were around in the Bible times. They wore sandals.
Yeah.
I'd say those count as shoes.
Yeah, there's some form of shoes that have been around probably for thousands of years. Exactly.
So it's kind of wild to think that it wasn't until 1310 that we finally got specific shoes for left and right feet. So next, in 1498, Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama arrives at Calicut, India, becoming the first European to reach India by sea. In 1609, Shakespeare's sonnets are first published in London, perhaps illicitly, by publisher Thomas Thorpe. In 1639, Dorchester, Massachusetts forms the first school funded by local taxes. Excuse me. In 1830, the first railroad. What's that?
You're from Massachusetts.
Yes, I am. The first railroad timetable is published in a newspaper, the Baltimore American. Also on that day, D. Hyde patents the fountain pen.
Yes, D. Hyde, or as he's more commonly known as Dr. Hyde. He was the same one that developed the serum that allowed him to become, very ferocious. Right? And he is, you know what, that was Dr. Jekyll. Not Mr. Hyde. Joke over.
In 1861, North Carolina becomes the 11th and last state to secede from the Union. In 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln signs into law the Homestead Act to provide cheap land for the settlement of the American West, 80 million acres by 1900.
Ah, interesting. Do you know that when they were settling, in the Romantic period of the Old West, that 1/3 of all settlers were black or Hispanic?
Really?
Yes, because they didn't have enough people, so they were taking anybody. So even though I don't know if this might have predated that,
okay.
But yes, it's interesting. When we were trying to settle, we used everybody to help.
Next, we have in 1867, British Parliament rejects John Stuart Mill's proposal on women's suffrage. So yeah, we just weren't there yet at the time. We got there eventually.
That's who they are.
Although this is Britain, so different. I don't know when they started it, if they beat us to it or not. But just thought that was noteworthy. Somebody at least was out there pushing for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a woman, it wasn't a woman saying, "Hey, we want the right to vote." So a guy was saying, like, "Hey, women deserve the right."
They probably needed votes.
Quite possibly. In 1873, Levi Strauss and Jacob David patent the first blue jeans with copper rivets.
Ah, I am currently wearing blue jeans with copper rivets.
Are you now?
Yeah, you see that?
No.
Oh.
In 1891, the first public display of Thomas Edison's prototype kinetoscope to members of the National Federation of Women's Club. No idea why the Women's Club specifically, but
all the people
that's what
could
happened.
tolerate his evil ass. Oops, I'm sorry.
In 1892, George Sampson patents the clothes dryer.
Oh.
And Housewives of America rejoiced. I don't know.
He's trying to do a period reference. It's not at all how we feel nowadays. Like, oh, women have to do laundry.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No.
In 1895, the first commercial movie performance at 153 Broadway in New York City.
Oh. Awesome.
In 1899, the first speeding infraction by a New York cabbie driving an electric car at 12 miles an hour down Lexington Street happened.
What is he doing? His face will peel off if he goes that fast. Absurdity. Slow down. Slow.
Speed kills! Anyhow, in 1900, the second modern Summer Olympics, Games of the Second Olympiad, opens in Paris and continues for 5 months.
Wow.
I don't think the Olympics goes for that long these days.
Goodness, no. No.
Imagine if it did, though. In 1916, the Saturday Evening Post cover features Norman Rockwell painting.
Oh, yeah. You know, everybody's seen these things.
It's one of those things where,
I
think many people have probably seen it and not even realized that's what that is.
Yeah.
Or references to it, because, it's become such a piece of cultural phenomenon that it gets referenced in things even to this day.
Yep.
Probably one of the most famous ones is like family at Thanksgiving dinner, where all the chairs around the table are filled. The father is like carving the turkey at the head of the table.
He was carving the what?
You're not a turkey. Anyhow,
I don't like this, Dominic.
Well, he's dead now, probably. I mean,
Wait.
1916, yeah, he's got to be dead by now.
Is our wicked.
In 1920, policemen raid the Cubs bleachers and arrest 24 fans for gambling.
Cool. Bad gamblers.
In 1922, Babe Ruth and Bob Musil, previously suspended by Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, returned to the New York Yankees lineup and go hitless.
Ah. Do you know that he also had a problem with his digestive system, and that's how they developed Metamucil?
Is that for real?
No, I made that entirely up.
Okay. Why? In 1926, Thomas Edison says Americans prefer silent movies over talkies.
Like I said, this guy is an evil poop. This guy, Thomas Edison, he was a great businessman, not a real inventor. Look it up. He did some absolutely horrific things, even for the time period.
Yeah, do not tell Pierre what he did to elephants.
Yes. We don't need to go through all of it. Just know that he's a terrible person.
Didn't he also steal people's ideas and patent them as his own?
Yes, he was one of those types that, like, he would get the patents for things. He would have an idea in his head and fund it. So it's not to say that he didn't contribute.
Yeah.
It's just he wasn't a real inventor. I think we romanticize who he was.
I mean,
like we do with a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, these days a lot of people who were considered to be great people are being realized that they had some serious flaws that were being ignored or otherwise covered up. Anyhow, so Thomas Edison, not too bright. He thought that that movies were going to be silent and not have voices.
People preferred it.
Yeah.
What is this color and sound?
I don't not sound color. It would just be sound. But anyway, just thought that was pretty wild that somebody could be, that well known for being, supposedly smart and be that dumb to think that people preferred movies not to talk. Imagine where we'd be today. So it's so crazy. Anyhow, 1927. At 7:40 a.m., Charles Lindbergh takes off from New York to cross the Atlantic for Paris aboard the Spirit of St. Louis in the first solo non-stop transatlantic flight.
Ah, transatlantic.
Yes. Cross the Atlantic.
Oh.
In 1930, the first airplane catapulted from a dirigible. Charles Nicholson is the pilot. Also on that day, University of California dedicated $1,500 to research on prevention and cure of athlete's foot.
Oh, well, they did a great job because it's still a thing.
Well, it was only $1,500. But that was also 1930s money, so that was probably a lot. In 1932, Amelia Earhart leaves Newfoundland on her journey to become the first woman to fly solo and nonstop across the Atlantic.
I wonder if she made it.
I'm not sure if that's the one where she disappeared, but in any case, in 1939, the first regular transatlantic airmail, Pan Am, New York to Marseille, France.
That's where Frenchie's from in The Boys.
Ah. Or at least that's where he wants to go.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Foreshadowing, perhaps, to a future video. In 1940, German General Guderian tanks reached the English Channel, the British Expeditionary Army. In 1959, Ford wins the battle with Chrysler to call its new car Falcon. Falcon.
Caw-caw! I can't do a falcon sound. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible parrot.
In 1959, Japanese Americans regained their citizenship.
Yes, they had a tumultuous relationship with
Indeed.
in the past.
And I'm sure it didn't resolve immediately, at the time.
Even natural-born citizens.
Yes.
It was, well, we can't go into it.
I mean,
look it up.
If stand-up comedians are to be believed, some of the people still get hassled, being told, "Hey, go back to your home country." It's like, dude, my grandparents were born here.
Yeah, that's still a thing. I probably had it at least once.
In 1960, the 13th Cannes Film Festival, The Sweet Life, directed by Federico Fellini, wins the Palme d'Or. I wonder if it has anything to do with candy. Sweet Life?
That's where Mr. Bean was trying to get to.
Really?
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yes. In 1964, Buster Mathis beats future world heavyweight champion Joe Frazier on points at trials in Flushing, New York, to qualify for the U.S. Olympic boxing team. Mathis injures his thumb and is replaced by Frazier, who wins the gold medal.
Nice.
So how crazy is that? Dude loses to him, the winner gets injured, and he has to take his place, and he wins. He wins the gold.
Wild.
And,
talk about tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Oh, okay. Oh, Fraser. It's Fraser, not Frazier, I think. I'm actually not sure anymore.
Copy.
But yeah, just to, who knows if Mathis actually went to the Olympics, he might have lost. If, his injury hadn't been, treated properly or something, he might not have won. So America got the gold because of such a freak accident like that. Or was it an accident? I have no idea. In 1966, the 19th Cannes Film Festival, A Man and a Woman, directed by Claude Lelouch, and The Birds and the Bees and the Italians, directed by Pietro Germi, jointly awarded the Grand Prix du Festival International de Film. In 1967, 10,000 demonstrate against the war in Vietnam.
I like the part about the birds and the bees earlier.
Yes, the birds, the bees, and the Italians.
And the flowers and the trees.
Let's see. Also in 1967, the BBC bans the Beatles' A Day in the Life because of drug references.
It's wild.
Indeed.
If you ever hear the songs like that, they are so there. You have to wait a minute. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
It's not like today where, it's a little more explicit.
Yeah. In 1969, U.S. troops capture Hill 937, a.k.a. Hamburger Hill, in Vietnam.
Yes, they've made movies about this.
Indeed. In 1970, 100,000 march in New York supporting U.S. policies in Vietnam. So we had 10,000 demonstrate against the war, and then we had 100,000 in support of the war. At least if I'm reading that right. Also on that day in 1970, the Beatles' Let It Be documentary film, directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, premieres at Liverpool Gaumont Cinema and the London Pavilion. None of the group attend. I don't know if that was in protest or if it just happened that they were all busy that day or what, but I definitely thought that was amusing that, like, as famous as the Beatles were, none of them attended their premiere of the documentary on them.
Let it be.
In 1973, the 25th Emmy Awards, Waltons, All in the Family, and Mary Tyler Moore win. In 1974, Soyuz 14 returns to Earth. In 1978, the U.S. launches Pioneer Venus 1, produces the first global radar map of Venus.
Ooh.
In 1979, Elton John is the first Western pop star to tour the USSR.
Cool.
In 1980, drummer Peter Criss quits the rock band Kiss.
Yeah. Peter Criss, he was the the space cat, right?
I believe so. In 1983, Every Breath You Take, a single by The Police, which would later go on to win Billboard Song of the Year in 1983.
Yes. That's the group that Sting is from.
In 1985, the 38th Cannes Film Festival, When Father Was Away on Business, directed by Emir Kusturica, wins the Palme d'Or. In 1986, good year, the Flintstones' 25th anniversary celebration airs on CBS TV. In 1987, wrestler Jerry Lawler sues the WWF and Hartley Race for a trademark name King.
Yeah, he was known as King.
Yeah,
so.
but, I mean, really? You think you own the right to the name King?
Yeah, well, he came to terms with it because he ended up having a career. I believe he's still... If he's still around? He's still active, I believe.
I mean, doesn't he, like, commentate these days? Or at least if
he's been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
but,
he got over it. Or they made a deal.
Yeah. It just blows my mind. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, how do you think you can, own the rights to something so ubiquitous?
Yeah. Crazy.
So,
okay, move on. We don't want to lose the...
In 1988, Howard Stern fans disrupt rival radio station WNNR's and DJ John DeBella's Louie Louie parade in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's where we're going next month.
Close. We're
Pennsylvania.
going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're going to Pennsylvania. But yeah, you're right. In 1989, the premiere of sports fantasy drama film Field of Dreams, based on W.P. Kinsella's novel Shoeless Joe, starring Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, Burt Lancaster in his final film role.
Yes, that's where the line, if you build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will come. Yes.
I saw it. It was okay.
Also on this day, Toots is the cat takes the wheel on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah. Toots is the driving cat.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he drove. That was his shtick.
Yes.
He was a cat that drove and barely interacted with anybody, yet somehow was the centerpiece. It was a good time.
It was the keyboard cat of its time. Anyhow, in 1989, also in 1989, Walter McConnell, age 57, is the oldest to reach the 27,000 miles high of Mount Everest's top. In 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope sends its first photograph from space. In 1991, the 44th Cannes Film Festival, Barton Fink, directed by Ethan and Joel Coen, wins the Palme d'Or.
Martin Fink, he makes you laugh, he makes you think.
No, Barton Fink.
Uh,
Also on this day, Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan named NBA's MVP. As well as Soviet Parliament approves law allowing citizens to travel abroad. In 1992, American rapper Tongue Twista raps 597 syllables in under 60 seconds.
You could beat that.
No, I couldn't. I don't even know if John Machida could beat that.
We'll see.
Also in 1992, India launches its first satellite independently. In 1993, the 274th and final episode of Cheers airs on NBC. In 1994, Bobcat Goldthwait is charged with misdemeanors for fire on The Tonight Show. As well, Sony Theaters and Cineplex in New York City hike movie ticket prices to a whopping $8.
That is absurd. Who's going to go see movies that are that expensive?
As well, Sushmita Sen from India is crowned the 43rd Miss Universe at 18 years old. In 1995, CBS News fires co-anchor Connie Chung. In 1996, the 49th Cannes Film Festival, Secrets and Lies, directed by Mike Leigh, wins the Palme d'Or. As well as UN and Iraq agreed to Resolution 986, which provides Iraq with the opportunity to sell $1 billion of oil for 90 days for a 180-day trial period. Proceeds from the sale would be used for humanitarian purposes. In 2003, reality TV series America's Next Top Model, created by Tyra Banks, debuts on UPN. Y'all remember UPN?
I believe it's pronounced Uppin.
In 2004, cult romantic film The Notebook premieres at the Seattle Film Festival, starring Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, directed by Nick Cassavetes.
That's okay.
In 2006, the 51st Eurovision Song Contest, Lordi for Finland wins singing Hard Rock Hallelujah in Athens. I'm fairly certain it's not Lord. It says Lordi on my script here. In 2012, the 19th Billboard Music Awards, Adele wins 12. LMFAO, Coldplay, and Lil Wayne also win. In 2013, the Church of Scotland votes to allow openly gay men and women to be ministers.
Interesting.
I wonder how many actually wanted to be, though.
Probably a couple.
Also, Yahoo purchases Tumblr for $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion.
Yeah. I remember when Yahoo was just like a handful of people in a garage.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a small amount. Like, they had a double-digit amount of employees.
It's kind of crazy to think how many of these kind of things grow up to be so big, and yet, others, Netflix had the opportunity to buy Blockbuster. Or was it Blockbuster by Netflix? I may be mixing that up. Anyhow, in 2015, David Letterman hosts The Late Show with David Letterman for the last time, ending 33 years in late-night television. And also in 2015, journal Nature publishes findings of the oldest human-made tools from Kenya's Turkana Basin, 3.3 million years, and first found to predate the Homo genus.
Cool.
In 2018, the 25th Billboard Music Awards, Ed Sheeran and Kendrick Lamar win 6 each. Taylor Swift and Bruno Mars also win. And K-pop boy band BTS are the first Koreans to perform at the ceremony. In 2019, Google stopped support for the Huawei's Android system and its escalation of the tech war between the U.S. and China.
Yeah, I remember that being a big deal, and there was going to be a whole thing, because they make all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, bit of a downer to end on, but I couldn't find anything that was worth mentioning after this. 2020, the WHO reports more news cases in a single day of 106,000 worldwide of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So anyhow, sorry to end on such a down note there, but those are all the most noteworthy things I could find that happened on this day of May 20th. So yeah, if you like this video, let me know. If you'd want me to do a birthday video for you, leave a comment in the message in the comments below.
I want a birthday video.
Setsuna, hope you had a great birthday today. Hope you enjoyed the video. And check out Azurine's stream tonight on twitch.tv/transientplayer. If she liked Aggravating Nerd Adventures 1 and 2 Deluxe, she may be continuing tonight.
We'll see.
Bye.
Oh no. That's the cursor. Yeah, just keep going for a moment while I can find the cursor on screen. Bye.
Bye. Happy birthday, Setsuna.